Hey guys, what is going on? This is it, Bub, RageQuitTV, going in game number 3 of the finals of Go4SC2 Cup number 86, Killer versus Gun. And Gun chooses Shakuras Plateau as it is his choice. He lost game number 2. It is tied 1-1 in this series. And this map is very much like Taldo and Malta, and where the Protoss can just take a fast third base. Not fast third. A fast expansion with a forward fast expand. They can do that easily on Shakuras Plateau. That's what I meant to say. Except, unlike Taldo and Malta, Shakuras Plateau has a place where Zerg can take their third base. They can take this base fairly easily and not be too vulnerable to Void Rays or... oh, what was it? Or spreading themselves out thin, like I said, in Taldo and Malta's game. Taldo and Malta, there's no way the Zerg can take a third base if they see a forward fast expand, and Gun is asking for a pause really fast. So, yeah, so let's just go on. Gun is going to be going in to do a forge fast expand. He's going to send that one probe out, going to see what Killer has. If he sees a gas, chances are he's going to get a cannon and then his Nexus. If he doesn't see a gas, then he's going to go for a Nexus first and then get a cannon, because the gas kind of hints at saying, hey, I'm going to play aggressively, because that allows me to get roaches quicker, it allows me to get speedlings quicker, it just allows me to do a lot more. And Killer, well, he's going to see the forward fast expand and either go 2-base Infesto or for a quick third. Game number 1, he went for a 2-base Infesto. Gun went for a double Stargate. He held the Stargate off fine, but then the ground units just rolled him over. So I'm thinking Killer this time is going to go for a fast third base, just because game number 1, the 2-base Infesto didn't work. Gun had an answer to that. Even though it didn't look like his Stargate play did too much, it wasn't a whole in at all, because, well, he had a lot of ground forces behind that. So, I don't really know what else I can say. Can I move around the map? No, I can't. He is going to take this base. If you can see my mouse cursor, let me make sure you can see this really quick. I believe you can. Every now and then, you can't. Yeah, you can. So, right over here is where he's going to take his third base, just because this is the easiest to defend. It's a little bit harder to defend against Void Rays, because you got a lot of creep to spread very quickly. But, if you take this base down here, you got this one narrow passageway with force fields. This can be a headache to deal with. They just rush up to Colossus. This base is going down 100% of the time. There's nothing you can do to combat that, because Colossus is going a narrow passageway. If you don't even have Corruptors, then they have high ground advantage. Force fields, it's just something you don't want to deal with. So don't take this base as your third against Protoss. Take this one. And then I'd even say take this as your fourth, because these bases can be a huge, huge headache. And still pause. What else can I talk about? If you're Terran, you can put PFs right in the middle of the map, because there's not too many avenues of attack on Shakuras Plateau. So it's going to be key to holding this. And I could see Gun going for a Deathball Force just so he has this map present. There's no way that Killer can really attack on so many different fronts that puts Gun out of position. If Killer wants to do damage, he's either going to have to go with Mutas, which he can do. I've seen it done in the past. Or he's going to have to go down this middle. So Gun can just focus on that Deathball, keep everything in one clump. And there's not too much Killer can do about that. As long as Gun has, like, Observer or something watching to make sure no Overlord drops come off in the main. And, of course, he puts pylons around his base for vision. And this is becoming an even longer pause. So what else is there to talk about on Shakuras Plateau? Blizzard once nerfed it. They used to have a smiley face down here when the gases were up top. And the destructible rocks were right over here. It's just a little cool fact. This base was the smiley. And whenever an Overlord passed over here, it was a clown because it had a colored nose. No gold bases on this map, just a lot of regular bases. You can't spawn vertically from your opponent, so yeah, I mean, things everyone should know by now. And finally, we're going to be getting into this game. No problemo, Gun. And is Killer there? And Killer says go, go, so we are going to be going into this game. So my predictions, Forge Fast Expand, of course, that is going to happen, because I'm never wrong about that on Shakuras Plateau, especially if you see the pylon down here. And my prediction for Killer, which could be wrong, is he's going to take a fast third base before his lair. Gun going out to scout the long base first. And since Killer isn't spawning in this base, this may say, okay, let's not do Void Ray play, because if he spawn close air positions, well, Void Rays can get there a lot quicker. It's a lot harder to scout them, because chances are, well, there's going to be an Overlord over here. So maybe that's wrong, but you maybe will do some cute dance and dodge Overlord's like sitting patterns and get into the base. Over here, you got the Void Ray just has a lot longer travel time, and it's a lot easier to scout. So I doubt we're going to see Stargate. Well, we may still see Stargate play to counter the third base that Killer takes, because Koreans don't really respect foreigners' timings, and they just abuse that fact so much, which in small tournaments like this makes them look like they're cheesy, but in reality, I don't think they are. The probe just going to be sitting here because he knows Killer wants to take that base, as he did see no gases. And the drone comes down like clockwork to poke away on that one probe. And the probe queued up, and that's a little bit odd, and Killer trying to head that off, but he just can't. And he gets the hatch down, so does go for a hatch, has his pool coming up, so he's going to be defended against a cannon rush. So Killer's sitting in a very good spot right now. Gun's not sitting in a bad spot. Killer's just sitting in a less frustrated spot. So here's the thing, is Killer going to be taking his fast third base? That will probably come around 8 minutes in the game. Make him a little bit before then. One lane gonna chase this one probe around, the other gonna go and scout this one base, see what it is. This Overlord probably just gonna go poke at the natural, because this is the safe spot for Overlords to sit on this map. Gonna see, okay, yeah, you are mining. May poke in and out every now and then to see the worker count over here, so you can see if he stopped building probes or not. The one lane comes and doesn't see anything. I guess he just assumes it's a Forge Fast Expand, because he hasn't scouted a thing. There he goes, coming in, sees the cannon coming up, and now is going to be leaving. And this one probe is going to be chased again by this one ling. And wait, he sent out 2 probes, so I think he was trying to do something cheeky again, but Killer scouted it, and now, well before the 8 minutes, I should have said 5, but I don't want to be too greedy with my calls. This is going to be a fast third base. Has 2 queens out right now, and the probe is going to come up, see this fast third, and now the question is Gun going to go for that Void Ray play? He is getting a third gas right now. The 7 escort not done, so we'll find out very shortly on what his call is. As you get that Stargate, the second this 7 escort finishes, his gas is getting high. He's not building, well, he can't build a sentry. So is he going to get a sentry or a Stargate? He's getting warp gates. That got canceled. And 2 probes. A pylon being built. So I don't think it's going to be Stargate play just because he hasn't got it just yet. It could be a dual Stargate and throw him down at the same time. He's not getting warp gate research. He started that and canceled it. So I don't know. Is this going to be a dual Stargate? And yes, it is. So it is going to be dual Stargates. If Killer was more, well, I guess more responsible is a bad way to put it, because the cannon is here. But if he poked up every now and then, he would see that warp gate wasn't started as soon as it finished, which would say, hey, I'm going Stargates. But that is very hard to do, and I don't expect him to do that. It's just something he could have done. And this base is up now, and his Evo chamber is being built, so he should have Spore Callers in time to defend against it. But this double Stargate kind of takes me surprised, because I think 2 Void Rays can take out a Spore Caller no problem. And an Overlord is right here. Now going to be sacrificing himself. And there's no anti-air whatsoever, so the Overlord is going to go down, but it's going to scout this. Unless it goes on a bad path. But there's no reason the Overlord shouldn't be able to see this. 2 Phoenix actually being Chrono Boost out, not Void Rays. And he's just going to mass those Phoenix up. And I would have waited until I knew the Overlord saw my Stargates until I moved out, because now Killer is just going to prepare himself against Phoenix. But this can be very strong. Killer getting Spore Callers up at all his bases. Not his main just yet, but he should. And 4 Phoenix going to be moving across the map to do what damage they can. Overlords clumping near the Spore Collar so they don't get taken out. Very nicely done by Killer. No Overlords out of his base, so I don't think this the Phoenix play is going to do too much. He's going to kill probably, at max, I'd say 8 workers. And they'll go 3 so far. That 1 Voider, 2 Voiders out of shields. 2 Queens here, and this 1 Voider goes in range. He's going to try to cancel that and micro it back, but Killer snipes that one. 1 Queen does go down for the 1 Phoenix. 4 Hydras on the way, so Killer looking like he has stopped this play completely. And expecting a Robo facility to be thrown down next. Just because you're kind of forcing Hydra play after this mass Phoenix play, and Colossus counters that. And now he's got enough Phoenix where he can kind of just ignore that Spore Caller, and whoa, I misclicked there. He's killed 8 so far, 7 so far, so I'm not too far off by my 8. And now the Hydra's out, so I'm going to say he's not going to really kill too many more workers. And Killer getting 16 drones right now, knowing he's at a good spot, just backing up super heavily, and Zealots coming out, and Zealots actually don't do well against Hydras, so I'll see. Maybe he'll lift up all the Hydras and Zealots will go underneath, and then they will do well. Gun right now was just trying to snipe an Overlord. That's what he's trying to do, just get Killer's supply block so he can't build more units. And Stalker's coming out. Those do okay against Hydras, but Hydras generally just rape any gateway units. There is a forward pylon here, and Killer is forced to pull back. The Phoenix lifting things up, and it looks like Gun is in the lead right now. The Queen's now getting lifted up. The Stalker's just picking anything that gets lifted up instantly. And that 16 drones that Killer was building, not what he wanted. He has a lot of gas. He could have built a lot more Hydras. And that is probably going to cost him the game. So this airplay, Killer just thinks he's a lot safer than he is in reality. But he built so many drones, he's still ahead despite losing 25. But I don't think he has enough to deal with this ground force again. Just got a little bit too greedy. And Gun will be up 2-1, and it is a BO5, so if Gun wins the next game, he wins the Go4SC2 Cup number 86. And I know it's not over yet. The GG hasn't been called. The Fat Lady hasn't been sung, or hasn't sang. I don't know. 54 food though, 283. And now this one base is going to be going down. And Phoenix are a funny unit. If you ever kill the army, it becomes so hard to deal with the Phoenix if they hit like 5 more Phoenix than what you have as anti-air, because then they just counter it so hard. But if you have equal numbers, then you do well against the Phoenix. It's really funky how that works, but that's how it does work, and we'll be going into game number 4.